My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Cancerians. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general reading of past, present, future, 9-card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot to clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and then draw 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started on your reading. Okay. The general card is Strength. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. You get 9 of Cups reversed, 7 of Wands reversed, and 3 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, my goodness. Yeah, okay. I mean, on one positive note, all I can say is that this took place in the past. Hopefully it's not resonating in current times. But yeah, it looked like, that there could have been a lack of confidence within you in the past. The thing is, there is obviously no kind of fulfillment. I mean, whatever, contributed to this moment, even, a way before this past moment. I mean, maybe it has nothing to do with, like, confidence, or maybe, you've dealt with this grand setback of whatever it may be, or something. I mean, I'm not really getting anything with finances, but it felt like, that you had no kind of support, no kind of anybody around with the 3 of Pentacles, and you pretty much had no motivation in the past with the 7 of Wands reversed. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is what I'm kind of getting here is, it's like everybody, well, deals in their own personal, negative experiences and stuff like that. So the thing is I know this combination all too well. Because, when I woke up on the ground, in my tarot shop, it was nighttime, at least that was one positive side, and not to have a human just find me during daytime and try to bring me out into, outside and stuff like that. Yeah, the thing was, I also had no kind of fulfillment. I had no motivation, and I had nobody to turn to or to run to for, regarding this transition and stuff like that. So, I mean, the thing is, someday I really hope to do find that vampire, who did turn me and stuff like that. But whatever. The thing is I know all this, I know this all too well, and the fact that this also took place in my past, even though I am an Aries and I don't really have any Cancerian placements anywhere. The fact is just, yeah, you're never alone, regarding any of these situations or circumstances, because, whether or not, you're dealing with it alone, there's usually somebody, whether it's your neighbor or even across the globe or something, that's also going through a similar situation as well. Now let's look at current times. Because you get Knight of Swords reversed, the Tower, and Ace of Cups reversed. Okay, my goodness. Yeah, what I'm kind of seeing here is, you feel incredibly directionless, because obviously you want to actually change. But the thing is, it's like, okay, it's important to actually, just to get back on your feet. Because again, I know this combination all too well, because when I actually left my tarot shop, it was just one big grand mess, and I pretty much had to turn the closed sign, so nobody would be, walking in, even during, daytime hours and just saying, oh, what's going on in here? What happened to Gabriella? The thing is, okay, I also felt incredibly directionless, even afterwards and stuff like that. But if you feel directionless, the thing is the Tower is kind of like a silver lining card. Yes, it's not a great card in any way, but it's kind of like, something is meant to break down so you can actually grow something new and stuff like that. But then you might just think, well, I'm actually going through this major transition and I'm actually facing a big loss. Because, I'm not getting anything in my chalice. My chalice is practically knocked over, so I'm losing everything. Hopefully this is not the case at all. But the thing is, okay, sometimes, it's like these unforeseen circumstances, will take place. I mean, hopefully it was unforeseen in the sense if it was foreseen that, somebody was already kind of threatening you with your job or something, and you just kind of, waved it off, and eventually, you got fired or something, that could have been something you should have looked into. I'm not ever, telling people what to do. It's just only, suggestions and stuff like that. But if this is an unforeseen circumstance, just like how I got turned into a vampire, the most important thing we have to do is self-forgiveness, self-love, and self-care no matter what. So, in the future, you start off with Queen of Cups, self-love, self-care. Page of Wands reversed. And 8 of Cups reversed. Okay, yes. I do see some kind of, change taking place. And the thing is about changes. Changes are painful no matter what. It's like you have to, whether it's, growing, which is a change, whether it's actually having to change, an area, change of jobs, maybe you have to let something go. That could also be a change of some kind. But any kind of change, if you're not in the routine of it, can definitely be something where you're incredibly, hesitant and pretty much, have a negative feeling towards it and stuff like that. But I do see a lot of self-care, self-love, self-healing in the future for my beloved Cancerians. This is one of your beautiful cards. Yeah, because like during any kind of transition, any kind of change, the most important person who could always be taking care of you is you. You have to be able to actually, bathe yourself, eat well, eat healthy, sleep well, and stuff like that. And always, will always take good care of yourself and don't allow yourself to be dependent on other people, because the thing is the fact that you didn't have anybody in the past, to say, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll actually help Cancer during this process and stuff like that. And this is you actually showing how confident you are because you don't need other people around. Even though you pretty much just think, again, where's my motivation? I feel directionless. You do get this feeling of thinking, but we're never going to give up on our dreams, goals, and desires. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. I find this combination very remarkable because the thing is, it's like, if you have to, like, to help yourself back on your feet no matter what, because, I had to do that for myself even when I woke up, on the ground and stuff like that. I had nobody to help me out no matter what. Of course, it's not nice, it's not fair, and not good in any way, but the thing is the fact that, neither one of us ever gave up on ourselves is important. Let's do some clarification. Nine of Cups, you get the Seven of Wands. So obviously, you had no fulfillment, but you were an incredible fighter. You can have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius somewhere in your star chart. I mean, this is technically the second Seven of Wands. I mean, this one came up right. So the thing is, it's like you're already kind of proving to yourself, or you've already proven to yourself, that sometimes, when you're kind of going through like misty, foggy paths, it's not fulfilling whatsoever because you feel directionless. You feel like you have no idea where you're heading towards. But yet, you are still incredibly determined to not let go of this whole path and voyage, whatever it may be. So that is important, that despite, feeling like, oh yeah, there's something that's really not giving me any fulfillment, whether it's a job, career, of whatever it may be. And the thing is as long as you just keep at it and stuff like that, hopefully it eventually, actually will create this change, for the best, the silver lining change. So, Seven of Wands reversed, you get Lovers. Okay. The thing is, it's like, as long as you keep going, no matter what, the signs and symbols of whatever may be, of options and opportunities do show up, even though you feel like, well, if I keep going, I feel like I'm just, just wasting my time and energy and stuff like that. But the Lovers is here to remind you that, there were definitely, signs and symbols of whatever it may be that pretty much led you towards options and opportunities, even though you pretty much felt like you were, you were all alone in it and stuff like that. The fact that this silver lining gift was still presented to you is remarkable, because for the Three of Pentacles, you get the Ace of Wands. So the thing is, the crux of even the past is that, sometimes, we have to go through times and days where we have to always be there for each other. I mean, for ourselves, no matter what. Because, it's like here you're already proving it to yourself to say, I don't need to have other people around me because I already have my own beautiful ambition and passion myself. So whatever, is, will contribute it, whether it's career-wise, whether it's choices, quests, voyages, whatever it may be, you have this very fiery side within you. I mean, you could have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius within you. I mean, you already get the Seven of Wands, which is kind of a really important defense card. So, because despite the Knight of Swords reversed, you get the Three of Wands. So the thing is you are slowly transitioning into this alternative route, quest, voyage, whatever it may be. Because the thing is whatever, didn't give you any kind of fulfillment, whether it was a job, relationship, anything that could be resonating in this reading, no matter what. The thing is it's like you want to change. You don't want to be stuck in a unfulfilled situation. Life is just way too short for that for my beloved Cancerian. So if something is just not working out for you, yes, it's like when you're about to embark on this choice of opportunity, the ship of opportunity, sometimes it's like you kind of have to go out it without even planning, even though it's always really good to strategize and plan ahead. But if you don't have the time to be doing that, I do see you actually changing for the best, because despite the Tower, you get the Queen of Wands. So, I mean, this could have also been like, yeah, that you had, well, lack of confidence in the past, maybe you had no confidence, and this is you actually heading towards confidence. Because with the Tower, this is a real silver lining major change of whatever it may be, but I do see strength, confidence within you, and since your overall general card is the strength card, I mean, you could have definitely Leos, somewhere in your star chart or wherever it may be. But the thing is, you're already proving to yourself that despite any kind of major transition, any kind of change, even, I mean, hopefully that this is, foreseen, then you could already be on top of, your whole, planning and stuff like that, and to actually be incredibly confident and strong about it. Because, change, no matter what, is painful. For me, it was incredibly painful. I'm sure it was for my family and maybe even friends and stuff like that. It was incredibly painful when they had to lose me and stuff like that. So any kind of change, any kind of anything is painful because, if it was unforeseen and unexpected, you just think, how could I have avoided that situation, right? Ace of Cups reversed. Daughter of Skulls. This is like the Page of Pentacles. So the thing is, you could be heading towards, a different, kind of career, that's pretty much going to be giving you more hope and more ambition and more desire, stuff like that, even though you pretty much just feel like, well, I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it. It could potentially be, volunteer work where you have to do work for free and stuff like that, and you just think, well, if this is only just a temporary situation, I'll try to remain hopeful, because, even though you are a water sign and this is an earth card, you can have Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or even Gemini somewhere in your star chart, but this is you actually remaining hopeful. I see you stronger than ever. I do see this major transition of whatever it may be, but this is also you remaining incredibly hopeful despite thinking, well, I feel like, I'm not getting anything good out of this new voyage and quest and stuff like that, but you're already proving it to yourself that it's definitely worth it in the future anyway. So, Queen of Cups, you get 10 of Swords. Okay. The thing is, it's like this could also be fear of having, that something will be ending and stuff like that. But this is also you, I mean, some kind of painful ending. Why would there be a painful ending? Because this is also kind of the transitioning or the ending of the transition phase where you're taking a lot of good care of yourself. You're pretty much just saying, okay, sometimes we have to go through transitions of whatever it may be. And these are foreseen transitions where you could already, prepare yourself for any kind of change of letting go of something very painful, because this is considered a very painful ending of whatever it may be. But this is your caring, loving side that's saying, okay, this inevitable change has to happen, because with the Page of Wands reversed, you get the King of Wands, the counterpart of the Queen of Wands. So this is you actually finalizing the process, very painful in many ways, but this is you actually giving yourself so much love, care, and nurturing, that it's pretty much just going to give you so much confidence, even though you feel directionless and stuff like that. So this is you actually having a grand rebirthing moment in the future. I am impressed. And the thing is, nothing worth having comes easy, A. But second, the thing is, it's like despite all of these painful endings, painful transitions, painful tower moments and stuff like that, you are proving to yourself how strong and capable you are during any kind of transition, during any kind of change and stuff like that. Because the King of Wands is very strong and courageous, just like how the General card is a strength card. Leo energy, strong, passionate, bold, and determined, and very incredibly passionate, even though you pretty much just think, I feel like, that there's just no ending to this, situation. Well, sometimes, it's like you have to prove how strong you are during the most, terrible situations and circumstances and stuff like that. Because despite the Eight of Cups reversed, you're not giving up, because, you get the Hermit of actually needing to, take a break from something, but you're not walking away from, this whole obligation. No, you're pretty much just kind of having to regroup and reorganize and re-strategize your plan and stuff like that, so you can head out into a further future, and then this future situation. Because the thing is, it's like this is you already planning ahead, because in the future it's going to be, a finalized, painful ending of having to let something go, and it's probably, your old self, that you have to kind of, will leave behind, so then you can welcome this new, stronger, and courageous self and stuff like that. And so this is you actually thinking, okay, now we're going to have to maybe lick our wounds, maybe, heal a bit and stuff like that. I mean, you could have Virgo energy somewhere in your star chart, but definitely this is you actually having, a regrouping moment in the future because of how, strong and confident you are and stuff. Wow. Special Vampire card. Ace of Pentacles, this is a new beginning, a transition probably to a new career and stuff like that. So any kind of new transition, of course, it's going to be painful and it's going to be so hard to actually have to get through it because of the unknown. You know, that's what thousands and millions of humans in this world are so afraid of, is the unknown, because we don't know what to expect. You know, the thing is, you know, it's like if it's unforeseen, okay, you know, it's like, you know, it's unforeseen. But if it's foreseen, where you know that there's going to be a transition, that is scary. And you know, and painful, because you know, if you see something heading towards you and you just think, oh my goodness, you know, well, yeah, each second and minute it's getting closer and closer to me, I don't know if I can handle it. Well, the thing is, you know, you're already proving to yourself how you are, yeah, how you can handle this potential new career, this new job, whatever it may be. Wow. Wow, I'm impressed. Oracle, come on, Oracle. Nobility, honor, high standards, and idealistic. You can be somebody of a noble background. It's good to have high standards and stuff like that, because you're proving how strong you are, and that's also a high standards card, because it's just pretty much just saying, I'm not going to let anything, you know, hold me back and you know, will keep me down and stuff like that. And you're incredibly idealistic, because this is kind of like a foreseen circumstance, and so you could already see it coming towards you. So any kind of like change or transition, whether it's taking place next week, next month, 6 months, or in a year from now, this is pretty much your idealistic side that's helping you already prepare for, you know, the, yeah, having to muster up so much strength and courage within you to actually handle, you know, this transition and change phase. Wow. Okay, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered, because for number 1, you do get a yes with the Hanged Man. A no with the King of Pentacles reversed. And sadly, a no with the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Well, my beautiful, amazing Cancerians, I'm going to have to leave it at this. But if this reading resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful voyage myself. I really hope the best, but I think everything is just going to work out for you. I mean, you are just incredibly strong and courageous. So I just want to just, you know, wish you all the best of luck on wherever it's going to be leading and guiding you towards. But in a few days, I'm going to go back to love rings. So I'm going to go back and forth between general love for now. But thank you so much for joining me. And if you want a personal reading, please feel free to, you know, drop in the discussion box that you want one, and then I'll respond to you with my email. But anyway, thank you so much, and I love you guys incredibly.